finally, welcome to the channel. Finally, I found a CRV post mount. They're all over eBay. They're super expensive. So I'm gonna pull this one and get that finally. I needed that. It's super important to get that in the motor. Get the motor in the car, so success. I finally got it. The motor dropped down after I took the mount off and everything. So it was wedged. So I got this bumper support to lift it up. Oh man, I had to like put all my fat ass weight on it. And I got it high enough after a couple tries to get it out. So I think I just saved a whole lot of money from all those eBay thieves trying to get a whole lot of money off this little mount. So that's what we see on eBay. $9.41. It's a bracket. They charged me $5.41. There were 3 bolts and I got a drink. So it came out to $9.41. $1.50 for a Gatorade, so not a bad deal. All right, so it's much later in the day. I waited till the sun went down because it was 103 degrees today. Feels much better in the garage. So today's goal: get the spindles on, get the rack on, loop it, explain to you guys how to loop it, put the motor mounts in, and get it so I could push out the car so I can make space so I'm comfortable messing around with the motor here. That'll be a whole different series. That's the VTEC color setup I've been talking about. So let's get this started. All right, so off camera, I got new ball joints, and that was all I needed to put this back together. So I am going to now do that. Well, it's not pretty. I didn't paint it all nice like the EG, but it's in there. Upper new control arm, lower ball joints, everything else pretty much the way it was. Brakes left the same, pads were good. And like I said last video, pretty much all EG suspension, and we didn't touch the shocks. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side, and then I'm gonna prep the rack to do the loop and kind of explain how that works. All right guys, so as you can see, this is the most ghettoest setup ever, but I broke these hard lines on the rack when I pulled it from the junkyard. I didn't realize they were part of the rack, and I yanked them on. I yanked it out with that, so I broke it. So I put a hose in between. Will it work? I have no idea, but we'll try something else here. Traditionally, people loop these 2 lines together when they're getting rid of their power steering. In order to do that, use a 3/8 inch by 1/4 inch barb to MPT with some what is it, Teflon tape, and then you just loop a hose in between. So stupid little thing. I made a huge mistake here. Maybe later I'll do a manual rack, but for now this is what I'm working with. All right, so I washed off the rack. One of my subscribers suggested using oven cleaner, and it worked awesome. So whoever that was, I really appreciate you. Let's see. Scratch my fresh subframe. All right, so the car is finally on the ground. I turned the wheel a couple times. So far, there's no leaks from the rack. Whatever's left in the heater core has been dripping. I put this on. People say you can't do it with the K-swap. I'm going turbo, so it's not going to be in the way. My EG doesn't have that, so I thought it was kind of cool that this does. My garage is freaking messy. And that's just because, you know, I start something and then I just go inside or whatever. So now that I have more space, I'm not so bunched up. I think tomorrow what I'm gonna do is push the EK, almost at EG, the EK out, clean up a bit, and put those motor mounts on. That way you guys can see the mounts that I got. And that's pretty much gonna wrap up what I did today. But the rack is in, I put new tie rods, car is finally on the ground. So getting closer. All right guys, so it's the next day. It's actually nice today, so I'm working during the day. These are the motor mounts from EM USA. I got these for $165, which saved me about $300 something, opposed to, you know, a more legitimate company like I have in the EG. But like I said, this is a budget fit, so I went with a lesser known brand, but I do have this company's rear lower control arms in the rear. All right, so got the hardware. Oh, it's actually got some Allen key head things, and you know, just standard bolts, nuts, washers, all that good stuff. Of course, I'm sure it doesn't come with directions, but I've been told to use Hasport's directions, as it's very similar. Got one of the mounts here. I mean, they're as good quality as you'd want them to be. So I'm looking for the rear mount. That's like one of the obvious things actually. I think this one, I'm not sure where that goes. Anywho, I'm gonna open it up, find everything, and then get it mounted on the car. And that's when I'll show you how it goes. All right, so we got the rear motor mount. I already attached this part of the mount. So for the front, use the longer bolt of the 3. It's more of a finer thread. For the rear, these are just slightly shorter, and they'll go in like this. All right, so next we have the passenger side motor mount. I just noticed, I didn't think it was going to be, but these are dual height, just like the Hasport ones. So that's kind of cool to know. So this will mount up in a factory location. Other cool thing about this chassis is there's no cutting. Like the EG, I had to cut the mount here. Everything here just bolts right up. So I thought that was pretty cool. All right, so last but not least, we have the driver's side mount, and that just slides here over the frame. Punch. All right, so we got all 3 mounts in, which, I mean, you could put these in before you put the motor in. That's why I did it. They're EM USA. They're listed at 178. I got them for 165. That's what I offered, and that's what they accepted. This is kind of in the way. So I don't know if this is gonna present a problem later on, but for now it's gonna stay. And I'm sorry for really ghetto work, but you know, the goal is just to get everything you know, make sure the engine runs and everything's good. And then this type of stuff we can come back to, you know, as hard as it might be, being that the motor will be in here, but this is something we could come back to and fix. So yeah, got some stuff done, some much important stuff. Car's finally on the ground, mounts are in. I got the CRV post mount, my bad. And just like more things done to get us closer to putting the motor in. I was talking about doing the VTEC killer setup soon, but I'm actually going to hold off on that because I need to get all the accessories and everything off the K20A3 because I have someone who wants to buy it. And plus, the faster I get the transmission off, the faster I can, you know, inspect the clutch and the flywheel. I want to see if I can reuse the flywheel. That's why I've been holding off. Otherwise, I'll have to buy a new one. So right now, I'm just waiting to see the condition of it. The clutch, I'm sure, is no good, but the flywheel, we'll see the condition. And that way we can, you know, get everything, get the ball rolling, get the motor put together for the VTEC killer setup, put everything together, put it in the car, and do what we got to do to get it started. You know, we still got much more things to do, much more content. So hope you guys enjoyed this video and you're happy to come back and see some more progress because, you know, I got plenty to do. Anyway, hope you guys liked it. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe. Check me out on Instagram, EGChris92. Till next time, later.